the stream over again because the something had happened and the video wasn't recording. So basically what I said was I was thinking about this elder wisdom and how, like, even though sometimes we get disconnected from our ancestral like lineage and roots because of the colonialism and the abuse and the trauma and the consistent like attack and principality that is called white supremacy, all that type of stuff, patriarchy, and religious brainwashing, that how some of us have, we lost our roots and our connection, We lost our also to those rites of passage, the oral traditions, all those things that made us who we are, that kept up these keys to the streets, that kept up all these different empires, right? So that's how those empires fell, by the degradation of the culture. So I was thinking about how even though that happened, it's still the genetic memory is still working. And then think about how, like, I was thinking about how like in trap songs, you hear black people say fuck 12 or 12 is coming. They call 12 the police. 12 means the police, but if you think about 12 is the what? The hanged man. The hanged man. But if you think about the hanged man means to be caught, to get stuck, to be hanging by a foot. You got me hanging by a string now. Yeah, and I was thinking about how that's so synchronistic and how that's so powerful, that even still, like, the knowledge and the information of the planets, and how when you get crossed by the planets, what ends up coming to you. So they say fuck 12, fuck the police, but like I said, 12 means the hanged man, and the hanged man means to be caught. The hanged man literally means to be in jail too, because if you look in the hanged man, the photo, it's somebody that's upside down, tied, and that also brought me back to what we were talking about a while ago in regards to these masculines, and how some of them got caught in past lifetimes and also ancestrally with different rituals and deities that were brought onto them by principalities. Think about how, like, the Ku Klux Klan used to hang our people and things like that, and lynchings and all that stuff with fire, and consecrating us to fire. That right there is a whole ritual. That's how you used to make rituals to Isis, aka Jesus. It's a Druidic god that Constantine and them implemented into Christianity. And when you were sacrificed in past lifetimes, there's something that does something to you spiritually and to your DNA. And that's why a lot of these masculines are getting caught up in that same hangman energy now, with karmics and fuckery and money and drugs and alcohol and sex. It's the same ritual that they didn't break, and they're saying fuck 12, we got to get away from 12, but the 12 that they need to really get away from is the one that's within, and that's really that hangman energy that a lot of these masculines are going to be coming into, that they are their problem, that the devil is within, that there's nothing without that's getting them. They are their own problem. And it's the ritual that they were consecrated to that cursed their mind, because debilitated Neptune is mental illness too. That's delusion, things like that. Because the Pisces and Neptune rules the 12th house. Neptune rules the 12th house, the subconscious mind, hidden enemies, delusions, deception. So how do they deceive themselves too? It's the ritual that they got to break from past lives. And I just thought about that whole stream of consciousness as I just thought about that 21 Savage song. I was talking about these rappers are smarter than they understand too, but it's the subconscious patterns. Like Tekashi 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine is Cancer, the symbol of Cancer, but he has Lilith in Cancer. And now he's consecrated to a principality that's here to destroy feminines. So now, another thing too that I wanted to talk about too on this thread of Neptune energy, and how these masculines are going to take the responsibility of breaking these ancestral curses and stuff that their ancestors weren't able to do in past lives because of principalities and social factors and Jim Crow and money and What's going to end up happening is these masculines are going to come to a point where they realize that there's past life rituals that are still coming into this lifetime that they need to fix it, and that needs to be broken. And that's where that's the hangman energy, because also too, these ones that I'm talking about are mainly the ones that have a lot of water placements. That's kind of like they were given that water to be able to clear out the subconscious collective astral waters of their ancestral lineage and DNA pool that they're a part of in their 12 strands, because they came into that lineage, they incarnated into that line with that energy. So that's the work that needs to be done. So they're going to be doing that, clearing up the different strands of their DNA and figuring out how to get there, because you can't just go all 12 strands at once. Sometimes you have to go 1 and 2, then get to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then I'm here at 1, 2, 3, 4. That opens 2 or 3 more till you get to 12. All of them open up. So another thing now that I did want to say with this elder wisdom energy, it's a lot of this Uncle Ben too, because he mentioned in his reading that how a lot of these masculines are going to be getting dealt with. And remember, Yeshua had what, 12 disciples, and Yeshua was considered actually a Pisces versus a Capricorn, which makes a whole lot more sense. So there, and then think about that. There's 12 signs in the zodiac, 12 house, da 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 da. So it's this along this line that we've been talking about, this persecution, the resurrection, and all these different things. Are you going to resurrect? Wait, even it's not about you resurrecting. How are you sure that you're not even Judas? Because there's not even thing of resurrection. You're going to go hang yourself. You see, and that's the same thing. How are these masculines hanging themselves? How are you hanging yourself? That's the biggest question that they're going to be asking moving forward. And how was this hanging from past lives causing problems now? How are you still attached to that principality? How are these karmics still trying to bring you into this principality? And this is what we're going to be talking about with Uncle Ben. He said that a lot of people are going to be hanging by a foot. And then it just reminded me of that song, "Hanging by a String," and it's by that band, Loose Ends. Yeah, these masculines got loose ends all over the place. Yeah, and that's why they're hanging by a string. They're hanging by a foot. Pisces energy, the same shit that they did in past lifetimes. I be on bullshit, and YG's a Pisces. So there you go too. There you go right there. Confirmation that these karmic masculines, they're gonna have to get their shit together. Yeah, but another thing too, the hangman energy is also an altered state of consciousness. So even think about how a lot of these masculines, with their drinking and their smoking and their whatever the fuck they need to do to activate the dopamine and serotonin, which is the Neptunian variety that they like, Martian Mars energy that they like. Even in all of that, they're still trying to get into that hangman energy where they can see things from a different perspective, loosen up, have their be that loose as a goose type of energy, loose ends, right? So it's like, in their attempts to loosen themselves from the grip of being hanging by a foot or their neck or something like that, I'm sorry, they're trying to get loose, but they're tying themselves up tighter even more. Think about that. So a lot of these masculines too are trying to get out of the weaves and the webs that they wove, but they're getting more caught up in it. They weave so many webs that they don't even know how to untie it. It's now a Gordian knot. Now it's a Gordian knot. There's 33 likes in the group, and there's 113 people, as I said that. So this is going to be, and then I thought about that too, because even in an Uncle Ben channeling, we had the crow that came. And then if you look in the cover for this video, there's a crow on the Hanged Man card. That's a type of tarot deck, and it's so synchronistic that I found that, because it was like confirmation that I needed to put this message out, that they're saying, again, these masculines, we're going to come and you're going to be hanging by your foot. And I told you guys about this dream that I had all those years ago, like a couple years ago when I first started my channel, and that it was me and one of the readers that's now one of the karmics, the main karmic that's in there hanging by a foot, that we were looking down, looking at everybody hanging by a foot. Yeah. And they're in there now, hanging by a foot. Yes. Yeah, spiritual jail. Yeah, entering. Yeah. I'm realizing too, like this is going to be some of these masculines are going to start having schizophrenia and things like that, because the past life recall is going to be so powerful. And Neptune is in Pisces right now. The past life recall is going to be so powerful. It's going to be so wild for them. And because they didn't have keys to the streets, because they're so busy chasing pussy and ass and shit like that, and going all that other stuff, they're not going to know what hits them when they get submerged. And didn't I tell you that it's like, I said that when we were with Uncle Ben, that I felt like submerged and consumed by the water, taken over by it. Like I had no control, but I felt calm. These masculines are not going to get to have that type of experience, so it's going to be rough for them. Also, too, I saw Uncle Ben. I remember, like I said, the crow came up in his reading, and it's also on that Hanged Man card, too. They're going to get a visit from the crows for their wrongdoing towards divine feminines, period. Yeah. You got me hanging by a string now. You got me waiting, contemplate with my own heart. Yeah, you got me waiting, contemplating with my own heart. Yeah, these masculines had motherfuckers waiting, contemplating with their own heart. Had shit confused, games twisted inside out, wanted to power, dominate, control. Now they about to be in that hangman energy, stuck, contemplating. Yeah, waiting and contemplating, because they're going to be in that hangman energy. Yeah, they're going to have a lot of time to contemplate, a lot of time to think about the things that they've done and the things that they did and they're still doing. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Yes. Elder wisdom right there. You can't tell me that fuck 12 was spiritual police is coming for the karmics. Period. Spiritual police has already come for them. They've already been taken over. Done. The 12. 12 was also the end of a cycle. All right, you guys, that's what I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this channeling. Thank you for watching. Bye. 369. Damn, you fine.